It's Rockets, Dynamo, and them texts.
And what is up? Welcome back to another episode, not so weekly episode of the Just Fans podcast.
We almost made it to a week exactly, almost.
I feel like every time we get in a rhythm, something happens.
It's always Carl's fault.
It literally is always Carlos's fault. And he's not here again, as you can see. So it's gonna be a good one.
Too busy gyrating his hips to Shakira.
But we're back at it. Papi and Rios and Papi. Ya tú sabes cómo es la vaina. Pa. And we're here we're just gonna chill today. Not major breaking news, no anything like that. No trades, no big moves or anything. We'll touch on a few rumors here and there, but we're mainly just gonna talk H-Town, what's been going on. But before we get into that, my boy Rios, how you doing, man?
It's the dog days of summer. I go outside, it feels like stepping into a sun. I'm like, oh my God.
Dude, and it's only getting worse. And it's only getting fucking worse.
Like, bro, I thought it raining would bring the temperatures down. It does for like 35 seconds, and then
the moment the rain stops, it's like back into a fucking convection oven. It's ridiculous.
It really is. I'm like, oh my God.
And that's one of the biggest gripes I have with Houston. You know, like the city's cool, the people are cool, the drivers suck, but the weather is the worst thing imaginable. And I come from like the Caribbean, you know, the jungle. That shit gets humid and nasty. And this, I would say, it's worse. I've been the same, man. I've just been working, you know, just busy. It is what it is. I'm taking a couple of days off this week.
You taking a day off? Who died?
Just a few things that I got to do. But yesterday I was busy. That's why we didn't record yesterday. But we are recording tonight, Tuesday, 17th of June. This video should be going up tomorrow. And yeah, so let's talk some H-Town. You want to start with the Astros?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the middle of the summer, so really the only sport going on for Houston is the Astros and Dynamo too, but they're not doing so hot, so we're not
doing so hot. They're not. Our boy Carlos covers them on Twitter. If you don't follow him, please follow him. He needs it. He's really sad. He's really sad that people don't go follow him. Please go follow him.
It'll cheer him up.
It'll cheer him up. Yeah, the Animals haven't been doing so hot. I believe they lost the last game 2-0, if I'm not mistaken. So it's just when you thought during the offseason that this team could actually do something, it feels like they're not playing up to their talent.
Yeah, it's one of those. I had a feeling it'll take a little bit of a while to integrate the new players and new system and all that, but it's kind of tough to watch, man. I watch every game, but it's tough. I don't know how they fix it. I think they need to really start spending a little bit more money. Like, we need to get some of that Inter Miami money because
but that's tough for Houston. Houston's not a team that you know is gonna throw around a bunch of money for like the big superstars, right?
Someone tell Sir David Beckham. Excuse me, Sir David Beckham. Tell him to buy
Sir David Beckham. Yeah, he earned that, sir, too.
He did.
But it's tough to watch. But you know, we've been here before. We've been Dynamo fans for forever. We've seen the ups. We've seen the downs. We'll get back to the top eventually. It's just the way the MLS has changed over the years. Over the last, I wouldn't say 5, even up to 8 years, very superstar driven, more so than it used to be back when I started watching. And I mean, you see the results. The teams that get the superstars normally do better. I feel like they need to focus on implementing a system and sticking with it and finding players to fit that system rather than just trying to get a name through the door, which is what I'm hoping it'll be the case for the front office to do. But I haven't been to a game this year, and I feel like with the summer, how bad it is right now, I don't see myself going anytime soon.
Maybe a night game. Well, I went to the opener and it was pouring. I'm like, man, you gotta be kidding.
I remember you mentioned that. Like the first thing that came to my mind is like, man, it sucks to not have a stadium with a roof.
You would think, as humid as Houston is, how unpredictable the weather is.
Yeah,
damn dome. Like, come on, what are we doing?
Yeah, Atlanta, I mean, like our football team has a roof, our baseball team has a roof. Come on, guys. But yeah, nothing too much to say there. But let's move on to the Astros. We touched on the Dynamo a little bit. How are you feeling, man? Like the Astros have had, I don't think nobody has had a better month of June than the Houston Astros. They did lose against the A's on a walk-off. Sacramento A's, which is weird to say, and it
feels weird.
It's weird. It's weird watching a game when they're playing on a AAA ground.
That and the 35 fans that showed up for them.
But that's the whole 35 fans that the A's had the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But it just feels so weird. It gives like this MLB The Show, like you're still in the minors. But we have had a couple of walk-offs of our own in this month, and a lot of players stepping up. Obviously Isaac, he recently just came back, but
he's been a huge pickup.
He has been basically the Astros player of the season so far for me. Given with all the injuries that we've had, obviously we haven't seen Jordan in some time. Altuve's been great defensively at left field. I still worries me a lot, but
his base running or his defensive abilities?
His base running has always been questionable. He definitely wants to put on a show, he wants to get you guys the free wings. If you're at Daikin Park watching the game and you see Altuve going for a base, he has no business stealing. He's doing it to get you those wings. So I will never boo him for that. I respect him. He's a man of the people. But just do it when it's, don't do it when it's like a really close game, brother.
Do like 10-0 or something like that. Don't do it when it's like a 2-1.
Yeah, like we're either like 10 runs down or 10 runs up. Then you can steal all the bases you want. But but we have a couple, obviously, besides Isaac Paredes, definitely Pena, who has All-Star shout this year.
Oh, he's been one of the best shortstops in baseball right now. Offensively, defensively.
I think the batting WAR, I think he's number 3 right now in the American League.
He's like top 5 in all the major categories for shortstop.
Basically, yeah. Like doesn't hit for a lot of power. We know that. That's Jeremy Pena, but he's still like a borderline Gold Glover. Right now, he's batting out of his mind. He's still hitting above 300. He has had a few dull games the last few games, but
he's had a great season so far.
Exactly. And he should be an all-star. And a lot of people, like to look at home runs and stuff like that when you're looking at your shortstops and your favorite players, best players. Jeremy Pena has been.
You shouldn't. I mean, look at Derek Jeter. He was never, a power hitter, and
but he was like Mr. Yankee. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was the soul of the team, so he was always going to get the fans behind him. Not to say that Jeremy Pena doesn't have Houston behind him. He does. But as far as the league goes, he kind of goes under the radar. Maybe it's because he plays on an Astros team that famously has had a lot of superstars in the last 8 years, 10 years, right? Pena isn't maybe the most consistent of the guys in the last few years.
He's no Correa, like.
He's not, but this year he's given us exactly what we've needed from him. Ever since his rookie campaign, which was great, wasn't like breaking records or anything, but it was really solid. I think it was like 19 home runs, World Series MVP.
He stepped up in the playoffs. That's
elite defense, exactly, and super clutch.
Correa would do the same thing. He would have, a so-so, regular season, but he would turn it on in October.
Yeah, but after that rookie season, kind of like a few dull years, this year he has turned around. I don't know if the hitting coach have figured something out. He has a really weird swing and the way he sets in the box, but he finally made it work. He finally, I don't know if it's the timing. He's still chasing a few too many sliders out of the zone, but he's doing it a lot less than the past season. So we're 1,000% behind him. Do you see Jason Kelsey look-alike?
Yeah, I was looking like, wait a minute.
So on Father's Day, no, the day before Father's Day, I went to see the game with my dad at his home, and we were having an argument about fucking how I prefer the game being a little bit more sped up now. And he's old school. He likes the game to go for 6 hours, and the pitcher taking 20 minutes to throw one inning type beat, right? And we're talking about we were going back and forth, and I know I know we're both right in a way, but we're also both very stubborn. So we're both like really butting heads or whatever. And then all of a sudden we see this 45-year-old looking janitor just step up to bat, and we both go like, who the fuck is that guy?
I'm like, is that a Kelsey?
Dude, and maybe offensively he's not Isaac Paredes or anything like that, but defensively, man, that guy has been the way he barehands the ball, throws to third. Maybe he doesn't make it every single time, right? But
who does?
And that catch that he had against the A's where he's kind of like running, the ball is behind him, and he kind of like turns his whole body just to catch, and he hits the ground hard too.
I mean, that's got to be catch of the year so far. Because I mean,
so far, as far as the Astros go, that has to be the best defensive play. Shame that we lost that game, but that's just another example of guys coming up. He's a vet. Obviously, he's like 8 seasons in or whatnot. But with the biggest story has been the injuries, right? So we've needed all these guys. Yes, Jeremy Pena is doing great. Isaac Paredes is doing great. Altuve, very solid so far. Besides that, it's been Jake Myers, maybe a tier below, but he's been great.
Like everyone's been stepping up, and it's crazy because they started as usual. They started the season really slow. People were starting to freak out. I'm like, guys, just pump the brakes. They always start slow, and then they start to pick it up as the year goes on. And lo and behold, they are a couple games out of first place in the entire American League.
And it makes you wonder, right? Like if this team was not even 100% healthy, let's call it 80%.
In the baseball, honestly.
Yeah, we've seen reports of Luis Garcia pitching throwing a few pitches, about 25 to 40 in the warm-ups. Same with Christian Javier, maybe a little bit more. So I'm hoping those guys are going to be ready to come back. They're probably going to be in AAA for a little bit once they get clear.
August, September time, but hey,
once they get clear, and we'll definitely take that because McCullers just went back into the IL. Foot injury.
It wasn't an arm injury. It was
foot injury. So I'm not too pressed about it. I think he's only on the 15-day IL. I still haven't heard Jack from Jordan whole situation.
Are we sure he still has a right hand? Like,
dude, honestly. First they said it was inflammation, then they said it was a fracture, and then they haven't said anything.
He's gonna come back with a fucking bionic hand.
If he comes back at all at this point.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't like about the Astros. They are not transparent at all about these injuries.
They're really not.
Bro, it's not that hard to say, hey, he has a broken hand, or like with Kyle Tucker last year. Oh, it's just a shin contusion. Missed fucking 8 months. Like, what the fuck, man?
Dude, and we missed the hell out of him. The other guys.
Oh man, he's been
Cam Smith has been great. He had his first walk-off just a few days ago, not even a week ago. He's been very clutch as well. Um, but I really gotta say, man, like this Astros team,
They're fun to watch. Like they were not fun to watch last year. And this year, this team feels like the energy around the ball club and just the way they interact with each other feels a lot different than it did in the last couple of seasons,
like there's
honestly.
still a couple of guys that I hope they can really like figure it out sooner rather than later. Um, Obviously a lot of the pitchers, because of all the injuries, we've had like a weird rotation this year so far. Obviously, Framber's still great when he's great. He has been great more often than not this year, but you still get, every few games you're still gonna get like that not so vintage Framber where he'll get in his own head and give up like 10 hits in the first couple innings. And
yeah, he's the ultimate, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Like you don't know which version you're gonna get.
And sometimes when he's good, man, sometimes the bats don't figure it out. But Hunter Brown, Diesel has been dealing.
He's one of the top 5 pitchers in baseball right now. He's really
and this is a guy that we knew he could get to this level, but
the tools were there. It's just him putting it together finally.
And he's been great, even in situations where like you think that the game's kind of getting out of hand. He always keeps a calm head, and more often than not, he'll get you out of that situation. Then we're gonna talk about Josh Hader being elite.
Boy's been nails.
When you're talking about all stars for the Astros, you got to throw Jeremy Pena in there, and obviously Josh Hader. You could even say Hunter Brown is in the cusp because there's a lot of great pitchers out there. But Josh Hader, to me, has been the best closer in baseball. Yeah. A little biased, I know. But fuck it.
It's our show. You say what you want.
I think it is 18 saves out of 18 saving opportunities, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, when we first got him, like he was really, really shaky in closing situations.
And the contract made it that much worse, right?
$95 million. Like a lot of people are like, that's one of the worst contracts in baseball.
Yeah, blowing up saves every other opportunity, basically.
This season, shut up a lot of people.
Yeah, me included. Man. I was sad that we moved on from America's closer, Ryan Presley. But you could see that the age was almost catching up to him.
I think the age ended up getting replaced. I think really affected
the confidence, definitely. Yeah, the mental game for sure. But I hope he's doing great things with the Cubs. Josh Hader right now, elite, best closer in baseball in my opinion. I'm so glad we got him, and it makes the contract right now look almost like a steal.
Yeah.
Then we got a few newcomers this year that I was a bit skeptical, but Ryan Gusto has been incredible. I've seen him live twice now. He's been pretty amazing. He's not perfect, obviously. No pitcher is, but he is an aggressive pitcher. He throws strikes, which I love. And if you let him get ahead, bro, he's gonna get you. He's gonna get you.
No, I agree. Like, I didn't know what to expect from him, but he's been a revelation too. Like he's like I said, the unexpected guys are the ones that are stepping up this season.
Yeah, Colton Gordon is another one that's been pretty impressive as well. As far as like these guys came in, the only reason they're playing right now is because most of the rotation is injured.
You're missing 3/5 of your rotation.
Kind of like we saw, like JP France come in last year and be as good as he was. Arrighetti last year being as good as he was, just because of the injuries, right? And like these guys are stepping up as well. If this team was 80% healthy, we would have a rotation that could go 7 deep.
Yeah.
And going into the postseason, if you got a couple of these guys in the bullpen for you, they could eat innings if a game demands it. I'm feeling pretty confident with this rotation as long as Javier and Garcia and Arrighetti and McCullers eventually all come back healthy. I'm pretty sure Arrighetti's out for the year. Blanco is out for the year. But if Javier and Garcia can come back, Hunter Brown, Framber stay healthy, we still got Ryan Gusto, Cole Gordon. I don't know about JP France status.
He's done for the year too.
He's done for the year too? Okay. But this rotation is very, very solid. Very happy with that. The guy that needs to figure it out. I have 3 of them that really need to figure it out. Biggest name on there, Christian Walker.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it before. I saw something on Twitter where like this team has the same kind of synergy as the 22 team. You had a first baseman that was struggling a little bit, but he turned it on in the postseason. If he could do it in the postseason, you know what? I can live with that.
Yes, and I agree with you on that, but I would like him for him
figure it out now. No, I
figure it out now, because it's been bad. And the Astros, ever since Julie left, have struggled at first base. We tried it with Abreu. It didn't work out. It's too much money and not enough production by any means. And the Christian Walker contract, I think comparably, it's better. And Christian Walker does give you more defensively than Abreu did, but offensively, man, I need you to pick it up, man. The first game I went to see this year, he hit a homer at the Crawford boxes. I was like maybe 10 feet away from it. And I was like, oh, this guy, he's going to be really good. And then since then, it's been very much up and down, mostly down.
So you're the one that jinxed him. It was you.
Shit, it might be, bro. And if you don't need me to go to any more games, I'll fucking take it. If that means you start hitting if you give me 40 more bombs this year. The other guy that I feel that needs to get it together, man. And I don't know why we got this guy. I hate the reason why we got him, but I was hopeful when we did get him. It was Brendan Rodgers. Right? When we got this guy, that's when I knew, like, okay, so Altuve is definitely playing left field, which I hate. This is the front office telling me as a fan, yeah, we're not kidding. We're not gonna get an outfielder.
We're being dead. We're being dead ass right now.
And Brendan Rodgers, amazing defensively. He can play second base. He can play shortstop if you need him to. Offensively, he gives you nothing, man.
He's almost as bad as Jake Myers was last year. It was just a black hole.
Dude, he's as bad as. Do you remember? What's his first name? Diaz.
Adelmi or
something like that, right? Yeah. I apologize, because I should know his name.
Yeah, Adelmis
Diaz. It was like the black hole in the lineup.
It was just the holy trinity of suck. You had him, Myers, and who was
the other one? McCormick too. McCormick wasn't on shit for a while.
It was automatic outs. Like I knew when they came with the bat. Okay, I can go to the restroom. I can go get a hot dog. I can get another beer.
It's like, your starter has thrown 99 pitches, but you're facing this side of the lineup. Oh, you can leave him out there. He'll throw 10 more. He'll get all 3 of them out.
Easy.
But like again, defensively is really good, right? And if Altuve, the H is getting to him, we see it. We're seeing it live. He's still gonna give you clutch moments. He's still gonna give you the homers. He's still gonna get caught stealing base. But defensively, he's not the Gold Glover that he once was. He's just not. No. Brendan Rodgers is very good defensively, and I love that because him and Pena right there with Isaac and Walker on paper defensively,
they've been very solid defensively up front. Like,
has to be one of the best infields in baseball, defensively speaking.
Yeah, the only concern is in the outfield.
Yeah. And we got Cam Smith, who's been solid. Jake Myers, who's been great. Dubon is a utility player. Obviously, he can play anywhere. And then that new rookie that we just got come up, Jacob Melton,
yeah. And then you still got Bryce Matthews and Pedro Leon and AAA.
Yeah. Which I wonder if we're gonna see Pedro Leon this year.
I think they probably call up Bryce Matthews before they call up Leon. But we'll see.
We'll see. We gotta see how the season pans out. But and the other guy, right, that I feel like needs to really figure out and step it up. I think it's just Joe Espada. it's just something about him. And you can shit on me if you want, or you can
This is the
agree
one
with
I
me if
will
you want.
disagree with you on because look what he's had to work with this entire season. All the
Yeah, but
injuries.
he doesn't fill me with confidence at all.
Really? I mean, they were 2.5 games out of second place, 4 games out of first in the entire American League with all the injuries. Your
Yeah,
best
but
hitter most of the season.
yeah, but then what's happening behind the scenes? What are all these injuries happening?
That's the Astros medical staff. They need to be, brought up on charges. This is war crime.
I don't know, man. I like, yes, the team is winning way more now. I think we're like 10 games over 500 or something along those lines.
Like I said, they're one of the better teams in the American League.
But I don't think that has much to do with Joe at all.
You don't
if
think
I'm
so?
honest with you, I just don't see it. Like with Dusty, you could see it. With Hines, you could see it. With him, I just don't see
Dusty, it. People will still criticize his, lineup choices and some of his managerial decisions.
But he had the tenure to be like,
Well,
I've been doing this.
Yeah, Dusty's a living legend. You can
I've been doing this.
But he had the respect. Like he had the, you know what?
Yeah,
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I don't think Joe's got that. I don't think.
I mean, it's his second season,
right? And I mean, last season didn't fill me with much hope.
No,
anyway.
Last season I was like, what's this guy doing?
Yeah, but I mean, they still made it to the ALCS.
No, they didn't make it last year. They lost in the wild card.
Oh, it was the year before. It was the year before the Rangers, right? Yeah, last year they lost against the Tigers.
So, the Rangers, they need to be investigated. Those are the biggest frauds.
You know they was on something. We're making accusations right now.
You can see the HGH just pouring out of Adolis Garcia's, pores. Like,
yeah, no, and there have been falls from graces before. This one needs to be studied for sure.
Yeah, seriously.
Fuck you, Texas fans. Oh, Texas Rangers fans.
Right. South Oklahoma. They don't get Texas. They're South
Oklahoma. Besides that, everybody else has been great. I would say very solid. The bullpen, a couple of guys there that could be a little bit better.
Yeah, with Abreu, like he's been surprisingly shaky this year. Like before, like when you saw him out
there, I'm not surprised at all. To be honest, I feel like last year he was way worse. Like he was kind of like, because last year we had him, Presley, and Hader, and any time any of them would come out, I would not feel any sort of confidence whatsoever.
With Abreu, I had a little bit more confidence than I did in Presley and Hader.
Shit, I feel like I had more on Presley just because of the experience alone. Abreu, my guy, he just loved walking dudes for fun.
He's either going to, strike everybody out, or he's going to give up 4 walks. There is no in between. There is none.
And lose the game.
My brother in Christ, you don't have to walk them all, man.
But besides that, man, I think the team is doing pretty good. I'm happy. I've been going to a lot of games. I went to the last Friday game when we killed the Twins. The first game of that series. Nobody booed Correa. I cheer for him. Thanks for that error. Yeah, a living legend, man, and I love it. But it was a really good game. Only one Altuve homer, but the rest of it was just singles and doubles. Pena was going crazy that game. I think he went 4 for 5. So it's a fun team to watch. A lot of balls in play. Fireworks were great. None that has anything to do with baseball, but shit, I'll take it.
Hey, I went to the game on my birthday and they won too. I was a little worried because it was, it was a 1-run game. I'm like, oh, please.
Yeah, it was a tough one. It was a tough one. That was
get the Hater, and then we're good.
And this was the first game I went to since we lost 16-3 against Tampa Bay. I was at that game like by the bullpen, fucking laughing my ass off by like the 8th home run. I was just laughing my ass off. I was like, shit, let me catch one. Send one my way. Fuck it.
Throw an inning. Fuck it. We can't get any worse.
Oh man. But the Astros has definitely been a lot of fun this year, more so than last year. And dude, if some of these guys can come back healthy and some of these guys can figure it out, mainly Walker, this team could do a lot of damage in the postseason. I don't think this team is built to win it all. Built for this, got it. But
I don't know, man. So something came out. What page it was? They were basically analyzed the last few World Series winners for like the last decade or 2 decades, something like that. And 5 teams. And there was 5 common factors that all the winners had, and they ranked the teams from this season. The Astros have the best odds based on what they put out. So I don't know. Like I said, this team reminds me of the 22 team.
Yes, but I look at some of the other contenders around.
I mean, looking at around the league, there's no real super dominant team. Like the Cubs are doing well. The Dodgers they're a little shaky, and they're not as super dominant as they look on paper.
Yeah, but if we're waiting for the Astros to figure it out, if the Dodgers figure it out, it's dangerous. Same with the Yankees, right? Like they're still doing well, but
no, I mean the Altuve has owned the Yankees for the last almost decade. Like the Yankees do not.
I was upset that they didn't wish him a happy Father's Day.
How dare they? Like, come on,
fucking disrespectful.
It's Pops. Wish your Pops a happy birthday.
What about the Rafael Devers trade?
Dude, when I got the notification on Twitter, I'm like, what?
I was like,
oh, no way.
Was this Bregman's doing? Like, did he like?
I was first I was checking, like, did I get faxed? Like,
dude, I honestly thought, I was like, why the Giants? Why are the Giants making moves?
And then his press conference, I'll play anywhere they want me to play.
Dude, motherfucker said, I'll be a catcher. I don't give a fuck. Right. Put me in the outfield. Fuck Boston.
Hey, Bregman's doing the Lord's work, dismantling that team from the inside.
Yeah, we should have sent him to the Dodgers. Right. Fucking Otani would be fucking Oakland A right now. He goes back to Japan. Oh man, no.
Like America's too ghetto. Let me go back to Japan.
Fucking yeah, man. Boston just imploded right before our very eyes, and after sweeping the Yankees.
They weren't doing bad in the season. I don't know why they traded the face of the franchise for.
And we know he has been upset at the front office. I hated the stand that he took. Like, oh, I'm not gonna play first base, or I don't want to be DH. I want to play third base. And then they got him playing DH, and then they're asking him, hey, can you play first base for us? We got injuries. He's like, no, you told me I'm DH, so I'm gonna DH. I hate that from a player.
Yeah, like
especially knowing that you're like the face of this franchise, very up and down franchise. The last few years, they've known for trading a lot of their big guys. Then again, the Astros have done the same in a way, right?
Well, with the Astros, they've been able to maintain their dominance in the American League.
And stay competitive, and I don't think there has been a guy that has left with that much animosity between him and the front office. Shit, you got a ghost over there or what?
No, it was the cat.
Motherfucker just went.
I was like, what was that noise? He's over there batting the blind. What are you doing?
But yeah, man. And now, what does this mean for the Giants? Like, are they looking to buy in? Like,
I mean, both conferences are wide open. There's no like super dominant team. Like,
no, honestly, yeah. And I'm not saying that the Giants couldn't like make a run, for playoff spot and all that, but why the Giants? Why would he choose to go to the Giants? Or was that the only trade package?
I mean, they basically traded a no name for the face of Boston baseball the last few years. Like, I don't get it from Boston standpoint. Like, what do you get in return?
Yeah, and it's not like as bad of a trade as the Luka one, with Dallas and LA, but it has that same kind of type of feeling where it's like there's something weird with this one. Like I know he was disgruntled and I know he wanted to leave, but to the Giants after sweeping the Yankees, they say winning cures all, but obviously not for him, and not for the front office either, because they probably could have kept him if they really wanted to. It's just something. I don't know if it's the owner. I don't know if it's the coach. I don't know if.
I think something probably happened behind the scenes where they're like, like we've had enough.
We've had enough time, or was he like, oh, I've had enough, and you either trade me or
might have been a little bit of both, honestly.
A little bit of both.
That's what my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think we gotta see how this shapes out. I'm just glad he didn't go to like the Yankees or something like that,
or the Dodgers, because
the Dodgers, like they need more fucking help. But yeah, I mean, anything else? Not much else happening in baseball as loud as that. We're probably gonna trade for Justin Verlander any day now.
It's inevitable.
But till that happens, we'll keep my fingers crossed.
I was picking myself from the airport.
Let's move on to basketball a little bit. So the NBA finals have been going on. Game 5 wrapped up 2 nights ago. Was it last night? Was it last night?
It's been a fun playoffs. I mean, a fun NBA finals, honestly. Like the last few.
Way more fun than I thought it was going to be. Way more fun. I thought the Pacers could take a game, maybe 2. Not only did they take 2 games, they also had the lead at one point. But every single game has been entertaining.
Yep.
Even last night, where like it felt like it kind of got away from them. This Pacers team has shown you cannot count them out.
No, they made a small little run. They got it, within like single digits, and
they got within striking distance for sure. OKC was just a little bit too much. J-Dub with the 40 bomb. Shea still being Shea.
I think what hurt the Pacers is just Halliburton with the calf strain, because they kind of go as he goes. Like as deep as that team is, when your best player puts up zeros,
he is basically the engine of that team, right? He's kind of like the system. He's obviously a great playmaker. He's obviously a very good shooter, more so than I ever gave him credit for.
And he's probably been one of the most clutch performers in postseason that I can remember since Kobe, man. Like it's just
since honestly since Kawhi on that 2018 run.
That too.
Like he has been so clutch. Jalen Brunson last year, he was very clutch too. But Tyrese, and I just like the guy. I just really like the guy. I love his interviews. I love his energy. Like you can see that he's just a young buck who just loves the game of basketball. And when he came to the Pacers, I thought it was a win trade for the Pacers, because the Pacers were in the middle of obscurity for years. Every year making the playoffs, but always getting bounced immediately. And also not bad enough to get a high draft pick, not good enough to compete. They were in this middle limbo where like no team ever wants to be. You either want to compete or you want to tank, right? And when Hali got there, I was like, okay, maybe this is a piece. He's definitely just one piece, but maybe I'm moving in the right direction. And they got Siakam. They got a couple more guys. Miles Turner was already there, right? So on paper, this team seems like fun, but maybe not a winner. The fact that they made it all the way to the finals, I feel like it's a winner in and of itself.
Yeah, no, it's funny because like last year they played the same style last year, but they had more defense. This year they ramped up their defensive.
The defense is incredible.
Yeah,
and the biggest story behind it is the Halliburton being voted as the most overrated player. And I hope every single person and player and coach or whatever that saw that or voted for that, I hope they look themselves at the mirror next time.
Right, like
because this boy's special. I don't think he's a superstar, and I wouldn't put him there just yet. But
he's pretty damn close.
He's as close as you can be.
No, if they turn it around and win the finals, I'll be the first one to say he's.
Do you think this goes to 7? Obviously, OKC's got 3-1 up. 3-2 up. They got 2 chances to win one more game and become champions, right?
He's going 7 games.
because I think they're playing at OKC next, correct? Or they're playing in Indiana.
No, they're playing in Indy, and the game 7
And
would be
then
OKC.
If necessary, will be OKC. So Indy has to make it count. They need to put on a show. Defensively,
what they need is Caitlin Clark in attendance. They are undefeated when she's in the home court. They're 9-0 when Caitlin Clark's in attendance.
She might need to play. My boy can't. Might need to put her there. And I'm sure, dude. And I'm sure Caitlin would give you.
She'll give you some buckets,
bro. She'll give you like at least 3-4 threes, dude.
Easily.
I'm pretty sure she could do it. 12 points off the bench. Hell yeah.
You can live with that.
No, but it's been a fun finals. I really hope. I'm rooting for the Pacers. Fuck OKC. Don't get me wrong. I love some of my favorite players ever have gone through your team. OKC. Russell Westbrook, one of my favorite point guards. Obviously, James Harden. Next to Hakeem and T-Mac and Yao for my Houston Mount Rushmore. Also, Paul George has been through there. Melo has been through there. But I just hate that you're not the Sonics anymore. I used to love the Sonics. So fuck you, OKC.
You know what's crazy? If
they
go on to win the finals, they still have a top 10 pick. And like 20.
Dude, yeah. At this point, I stopped fucking keeping track. I'm sure they don't even know how many fucking picks they got anymore. Every offseason, like fucking, they just look at it as like, shit, we got 3 first rounders? That's crazy. 2 of them lottery? What? I don't fucking know, man.
And a lot of it came from Paul. Like that Shea trade for Paul George, it's got to be one of the worst trades in NBA history.
Oh, it has to be.
Up there with Luka.
Has to be.
Has to be up there.
If they win the finals, yes, it's worse than Luka.
Because look what they gave up for look what the Clippers gave up for Paul George.
It was like what, 5 picks, Shea, or it was like 4 picks, 2 swaps, and Shea, and somebody else.
The league MVP. It was a couple other players too, but you gave up the league MVP. I mean, they didn't know it at the time, but I'm like, that's a lot for Paul George. Okay, who basketball is not his passion.
Then again, it was Paul George right after his MVP campaign. Because that was the year where Russell Westbrook basically made him look like an MVP. I think he finished top 2 or top 3 that year.
But with Paul George cannot be the best player on your team. He's honestly can't even be the second best player on your team.
Not anymore. I feel like there was a time where he could have. I think that if he would have stayed at OKC one more year, they would have kept Westbrook. They could have made another run at it. I think they could have.
I don't know. I've just never been a big Paul George fan. He's just
I am, because he especially before his injury, right? He can drive through the basket, he can play make, he can defend. He's everything. Like and this might be a little bit of a hot take, but if Kobe was the closest thing to Jordan, I feel like Paul George was the closest thing to Kobe. After like and by that I mean like
maybe 38-year-old Kobe.
Listen, by that I mean like the build and because in Indiana, man, in Indy, he was different. PG was actually like, he took LeBron to 7 games. He was the only thing standing between Cleveland and the finals for the most part. And I always loved watching him. Offensively, defensively, I thought he gave everything. And when he went to OKC, I hated it because fuck OKC. But that year with Paul George and Melo, which, that was probably the best Melo we've seen too. That was before he started, getting blackballed by the league because he wanted to star and he couldn't star anymore. I remember his, 8 games that he played for Houston.
Yeah, I mean,
and when he went to LA with the Clippers with Kawhi, I was like, shit, this team might I think they were odds favorites to win that year, and then they both got injured. So it just shows you, right? You take risks, and sometimes you swing and miss type shit. But like I'm rooting for the Pacers. Who are you rooting for?
No, I'm rooting for the Pacers too, because I can't root for the Thunder. I like what they've built, but at the same time, fuck them.
Yeah, and I like Shea. I like J Dub.
The one thing I don't like about
Caruso.
SGA is the fucking foul bait, man. It's like it reminds me of James Harden. I hated that shit too. Like,
and I hated that shit too with James Harden. However,
like, you're too good for that shit, man. Like, come on. Like, you can shoot from the outside. You can drive to the paint. Like, you don't need to do that shit. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's hard, man, because all the best players do it.
Nowadays, I mean, it didn't used to be like that. Like, if you got fouls, you earned it.
Well, yeah, because like back then they wouldn't call fouls. You could stab a guy in the middle of the paint and just be like, "Play on."
But I mean, it's got him and Brunson. They do the same thing. Like, as soon as they drive, they.
The thing with Brunson is that he is a small guard. So sometimes I'm like, yeah, he's getting fouled. Anytime anybody touches him, yeah, that's a foul. I'm sorry, dude. You got like a whole foot and 50 pounds on the guy. You're probably fouling him. Which Shea's a lot different because he's like what 6'7", 6'8".
No, he's not that tall. He's like 6'4", 6'5".
No, Shea?
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
I'm gonna look it up right now, bro. That motherfucker's tall. No. What is it? What the hell? 6'6".
I was close. I said 6'5".
I mean, he's a tall, lanky guy, so it's hard. It's hard with him. But you look at Embiid, foul baiting. Harden, foul baiting. Braun, foul baiting. A lot of the best players.
Those guys just flop. Him and Brunson foul bait. Those guys just flop.
Fucking Trae Young was doing it for a while too. I remember. I really hope he gets out of Atlanta soon.
He should.
Should go to Oakland. I thought the Magic were gonna get him. Oh, that's the other thing. Let's talk about the fucking Magic. What the fuck?
All of that for freaking what's his
Desmond
face?
Bain. So five first rounders. I think one of them is a swap. So it's technically 4.5. If you wanna look at it that way.
For Desmond Bain, maybe third or fourth best player on the Grizzlies. Like,
I would argue second. Second
over JJ. Nah,
doesn't give you JJ doesn't give you enough offensively, in my opinion. Obviously, Ja is the face of the franchise for now. Triple J, amazing anchor, DPOY candidate pretty much every year. I feel like Desmond Bain, and we've seen it a lot when Ja has been out through injury or suspension or what have you. Desmond Bain has carried that team. Remember that I think it was like a month stretch where Ja was out because of this. No, it wasn't a suspension. It might have been an injury, and the Grizzlies were still winning. That was mainly Desmond Bain. I think he's a very solid playmaker. He shoots amazingly, way above average shooter. Not for a fucking round, first pick, 5 picks.
And you know what I believe on? The Mikal Bridges trade. That set the precedent for overpaying for these, mid-level players.
But the biggest thing is that this happens. Well, this happens after the Luka trade, which fucking Dallas only got 1 first rounder back from that.
And look what they got. Cooper Flag, basically.
Yeah, but I mean, just the 1 pick. Even if Cooper is a generational talent, he's still not Luka. The odds that he's as good or better than Luka, it's astronomically small. So, yes, the Mikal Bridges, I thought New York overpaid the hell for that. 1,000%. Rudy Gobert going to the Wolves. If you remember, that was also like 5 first rounders. obviously Paul George fucking for like 7 picks at the end of the day or something crazy like that. So that's kind of the standard. That's where we're at right now. If a team really wants a player, the other team can basically ask for whatever they want. The thing is, like the Magic, yes, they have a young core. Yes,
but
they have a good team.
When has it worked? It has yet to work. Outside of the Thunder, it hasn't worked for anybody. But the Thunder already had a solid team. They could still make the finals out of SGA.
Yeah, and Desmond Bain is definitely moves the needle for the Magic, but I don't think it gets them over the hump. Like with Paulo, with Wagner, with Jalen Suggs, who can now just focus on defense, right? Because now you got a shooter like Desmond Bain. The biggest thing with them last year is that they couldn't shoot from 3. They were super inefficient. I don't think they took that many. I think they were below average as far as taking threes. And they were super inefficient with it. Paulo is a great player, and that team is constructed in a way where like it's Paulo who's like basically the superstar, borderline.
He's the point forward, basically.
He's the 1A basically, and then a bunch of really good role players. And Desmond Bain, I think he comes in as basically as a number 2 guy who can play make, space the floor for them.
I don't know about putting him over Wagner, because Wagner's pretty good.
It's pretty good, but last year it wasn't his best season. And if you're just counting on Wagner to carry you when everybody else isn't, I don't think that's a winning situation. I think Desmond Bain, like I said, I think Desmond Bain really moves the needle. I think 5 picks is way too much. It's way too fucking much. And now the Grizzlies are in a position where we already assume that they might want to move from Ja, right? They want to move on from him.
I feel like this is them, their first step in rebuilding. And this would be the offseason to move them, because you want to get those first round picks for next year, because the 26th draft class is loaded.
And the thing with Ja is like, yeah, this moment you got 5 picks. You could probably ask for 5 picks for Ja, but honestly, I think you'll be happy if you even get 3. Because if you're the Grizzlies, okay, now you got fucking 8 picks for the next 5 years.
What's going to make him a little bit harder to move is 1, his contract, 2, the injury history, and 3, you don't know if he's going to do something stupid on the off court and get suspended again.
Yeah, but there's always a team that takes on stupid. And there's always a team that takes on injuries too. We've seen it. But it's one of those things where, like, where will he end up? I could definitely see like a Nets team being like, "Oh, we'll take a franchise player."
Yeah,
all those fucking picks that New York gave us for Mikal. Here, you can have a few. I can definitely see the Suns. Right.
They don't have any draft picks. The Rockets on all of them.
Shit, they might move Durant. They might do a swap. Straight swap for Durant.
Yeah, they're not doing that.
I mean, I feel like the Suns take that in a heartbeat at this point, to be honest.
I think that's going to be the first. I think that's the first big domino. Wherever Durant goes, I think that's going to shape how the rest of this free agency.
So let's talk about that then. Let's talk about that, because I keep seeing every single day reports and mock trades and everything, Durant being linked to mainly these 3 teams, which is the Rockets, the Spurs, which I would fucking hate, and then what was the other one?
I think was it Miami?
Miami, yes. So I don't think Miami has any picks either to give. I think it's going to be either the Spurs or the Rockets, because I think he already dismissed Minnesota as a potential landing spot. We know that Ann wanted to play with him and all that, but I don't know. I don't think he wants to go there. So the Rockets, like, honestly, when you and I have talked about this before, how do you honestly feel about a possible Durant, trade to the Rockets?
I prefer that over, like, say, well, Giannis isn't available anymore, but like there was a lot of hypotheticals of what a package for Giannis would look like, but that involved giving, in my opinion, way too much.
Yeah, it was like Jalen, Jabari, and like 3 or 4 picks or something like that.
Even though he fits the Rockets timeline better than, say, a Kevin Durant does, in my opinion, you can get Durant for a lot less than a package for Giannis would look like. And I still believe that. I think with him, because he doesn't have to carry the load offensively. With the Rockets, what they've been lacking the last year is
Closer.
a true legitimate closer. Because in crunch time, who can you depend on to score a bucket? Sengun, super inconsistent. Jalen, he is just.
Some nights he'll go off, and some nights he'll be off.
He has shown he cannot be the guy that can carry the load offensively. Because he doesn't give you anything else as far as if he's not scoring, he just gives you nothing else.
Yeah.
Not great defensively, not a great facilitator.
Way too many turnovers as well. So I feel like on paper, KD makes a lot of sense. But I think that would be the Rockets rushing this project a little too much. Especially with a lot of the mock trades that I've been seeing, you're looking at maybe a Jalen Green moving, maybe a Reed Shepard, maybe a Jabari Smith. The picks I'm not too concerned about because the Rockets do have quite a bit, especially those two Suns picks, which would most likely be part of that trade. But it's just about the fact that we're doing it for a 37-year-old KD, who's still like one of the probably top 10 players still in the league, maybe 15.
Look at it this way: if you put him on the Rockets last season, he would have been the Rockets' top scorer.
Even definitely, with most definitely, but we still would have made it to the finals. I don't know.
This season, I think we beat Golden State, making the finals.
I think we definitely beat Golden State with KD on the lineup. But then it would have been Minnesota.
That'd have been a little bit tougher.
And then it would have been OKC, which would have been a hell of a lot tougher because they're going to double fucking KD. And my guy's 36. He can't give you 40-something minutes of efficient basketball anymore.
Like I said, it really depends on what the package looks like. If it's, like Jabari, Reed Shepard, and a couple picks, I could live with that. Or even moving Dylan Brooks because Kevin Durant's a small
just for the money to match too. But if we're gonna do anything with the Suns picks, it's got to be for D-Book. It's got to be for me. He fits the timeline perfectly, and for him. You could give up, and I would be fairly happy with it. You could give up a Jalen. You could give up Jabari, the two picks, and maybe another pick swap or two. And I feel like I would be happy with that because at that point you have Freddie still, right? And you keep Shepard potentially to take the reins one day, or maybe you just trade for another guy later, free agency and whatnot. You got D-Book at the 2. You got Amen at the 3. Pretty much anybody at the 4. You got Tari Eason. Then you got Sengun. That's a great lineup. You got Steven Adams off the bench.
I mean, me personally, I'd go the double big lineup because they were so effective.
You want Steven Adams and Sengun and you just keep Tari on the bench? That's
you can start with the double bigs and you can swap them out for Tari or someone else to play the
floor. Yeah, because at that point, D-Book and Freddie space the floor pretty well. Amen's going to give you everything defensively. Sengun's still a threat in the paint. And Steven Adams is just going to fucking fuck everybody up.
Yeah.
The hardest screens in the fucking game. But besides that, honestly, I don't really see the whole D-Book thing happening.
No, I think they already said he's not available.
Yeah, but I think he does want to leave. I honestly do think so.
He should.
Deep down, I think he wants to leave. The other only contenders for the KD sweepstakes, I think, is the Spurs. And they got plenty to give. They got the picks. They got the contracts.
But the thing is, with all the players that they have, they still were, a lottery team. And I don't think Kevin Durant...
It's only because Wemby got injured and they decided to tank. That was the whole thing. Because when Wemby was healthy, he was still putting up numbers. And the Spurs were winning.
they still weren't a very good team. They weren't a playoff team even with Wemby. They were like a 10th seed most of the season. The West is just too stacked, and they're not good enough.
The West is just too stacked. But I think because the Rockets were so high up in the standings, you forget that the Spurs were like in contention because the bottom of the West isn't like miles ahead as the very bottom. Like anybody could have made it.
Playing spot, but I just don't see it. And with Wemby, I don't see him staying healthy for a full season. We've seen him with guys this high.
You can't put that on him just yet. You can't put that on him just yet because there's
it's 2 seasons now.
Two seasons ain't history, bro. 2 seasons ain't history. And the thing is, like, the Spurs are smart. That's what I hate about them. Because they probably rest him and take care of him more than maybe they could have because they don't want the injuries to repeat. Because deep down, they knew they wanted to tank. Deep down, they knew they wanted a lottery pick. They're building a team kind of like they did back in the day. They're building a team slowly, high lottery picks, and then boom, they're going to get their star. You think they got Chris Paul to compete? No. They got Chris Paul to lead and teach. And then in 2 or 3 years' time, this Spurs team could be dangerous.
But it really all centers on Wemby staying healthy because we've seen it throughout NBA history. Guys that are 7'4" or taller, they struggle to stay healthy because those lower leg injuries. It's tough. Basketball is one of the hardest sports on your lower limbs, and with him, he's been having a lot of lower leg injuries. You've seen it before, guys like Ralph Sampson.
But they maybe they just need one healthy season. And everybody can give you one healthy season at some point. And Embiid has done it. Kawhi has done it.
I mean, we saw
Harden has done it.
The Rockets. With Yao Ming, he was 7'6". Those foot and lower.
But Yao wasn't like an athletic 7 foot whatever. He was just a big body self.
But he was pretty.
Maybe is an athletic 7'6" or whatever the hell he is. Because I think he's
7'4", but he's a lot skinnier.
I think they list him as 7'4", but I think motherfucker's getting taller.
See, but the difference between him and Yao is Yao was, pretty stout. Wemby is very thin, and just like we see with Chet, Chet's had a lot of lower leg injuries throughout his career. They're the same type.
That's in the fucking finals. He had a pretty below average game 5, but he's been very good this playoff. And Wemby doesn't need to be the superstar. Wemby doesn't need to be the driving force of that team, right? Tim Duncan was, in many ways, the best player in the Spurs, but I don't think he was ever the sole driving force of that team. The Spurs they had a great scheme and great players that fit the scheme, and it just so happened that like 4 of them were Hall of Famers.
Yeah, it kind of helps.
Kind of helps.
Coaches of all time.
Exactly. But I mean, the Spurs could do it again. Wemby doesn't have to give you 50 every night. But if you pair him with right now with De'Aaron Fox, I think that's a match made in heaven. Right? I think with De'Aaron Fox, Wemby, a good supporting cast, and then one other it factor, whether it's Kevin Durant or not. I don't know, man. I'm still waiting, because it's very possible. I don't think a lot of people are talking about this. If Giannis does ask out of Milwaukee, imagine a fucking duo of Giannis and fucking Wemby. That would be disgusting.
I would stop watching basketball.
Because you would have to guard the 7'5" motherfucker Slenderman who can shoot from the logo. And you have to double team the fucking 6'11" bulldozer known as Giannis. And you got De'Aaron Fox, the fastest fucking point guard alive. I don't even know how you stop that. But I don't know. The Spurs are like one of those sleeping giants that are like 1 or 2 moves away from being contenders again. And you hate to see it as a Houston fan, but Right now, Houston is in a good spot.
They're 1 or 2 players away.
Yeah,
I don't think Durant puts them in that category, but
exactly. So I think it's a landing spot because it's feasible. They could pull it off. I don't think it's a good landing spot. I think Durant is just gonna stay put.
You think so?
I think so. I think for the rest of the year at least. I don't think. I mean, for next
Phoenix, they don't have a lot of move because they don't want to trade Devin Booker. You can't move Bradley Beal. They have nothing else. They have no draft picks. They need.
I think the Suns will have to move D-Book. I think it's getting out of hand, and it all started with Bradley Beal. The moment they made that trade, that's when they basically left it up to the players, not up to them anymore. And when Bradley Beal got switched to the Suns, I knew immediately, like, this team is either gonna be the best team ever or they're gonna crash and burn, because that's exactly what happened with the Brooklyn Nets. Nobody could stay healthy. On paper, amazing. The few games they played together, amazing, but he could never stay healthy, and eventually everybody left. Nothing to show for it. And when Bradley Beal got to the Suns, I was like, this is the most offensively dangerous, but also most dysfunctional team. Because how you have 3 great scorers and no fucking point guard.
Yeah.
And no bigs.
And none of them are known for their defensive prowess either.
Exactly. So I think Phoenix is just gonna end up trading D-Book. I see Durant walking. If they do trade him, I don't think it's gonna be anywhere exciting. He might go to Miami. They might make it work somehow, but they're barely gonna get fucking anything out of it. And then D-Book is probably gonna ask out, and then they're gonna have to. And he's gonna end up in fucking with the Clippers or something. I don't know. But anyway,
like I said, Kevin Durant is probably going to be the one domino that basically determines how this entire free agent summer turns out.
Yeah. Watch him go to Dallas. Watch it somehow. He just ends up in Dallas.
God.
Him and Curry meet up again with AD for about 30 games. And then Cooper Flag.
The 10 games they play together.
And then Cooper Flag fucking ends up carrying the team because everybody fucking injured.
Oh, man.
And then they get the first round next year, too. Fuck it. Because fuck the NBA, it's rigged. But anyway, you've been going on for an hour and change. It's been great.
Especially since no Carlos.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Any final words or final messages to anybody watching?
As always, like I said, after year, the Astros are inevitable. Get used to it. And make sure you follow us on, YouTube at JustFans22, on Instagram at JustFansPod, and on Twitter at JustFans22.
Oh, damn, he can read. That's crazy. Thank you guys for watching. Always love talking shit here. Hopefully we'll be back next week. I think we got a guest, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah, we got Tyler Milner from Sports Radio 610 on.
Yeah, always fun having him. Yeah, Carlos gave us the news, I think, yesterday that he's coming in. So we'll talk some more Houston sports with him. Talk the shit. Some Houston Texans. We'll see. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, for watching, talking shit. Next week might be a live stream. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be live.
There you go. So please join us. It's probably gonna be around 8:00 Central Time, Monday night. So please tune in. Come talk shit. I will talk shit to everybody who talks shit back. Fuck the Saints, the football team, not the deities. Anyway. Goodbye, everybody. Any final words, Rios?
Fuck Dallas.
Amen.
Southwest A-League, Texas, throw down here and it's so infectious. We ride for the Houston Astros, Rockets, Dynamo, and them Texans. If you ain't never been down here, but rule number 1, you gon' respect us. Just fans in my speakers, new one drop, they bout to bless us. I might right through the SWAT, playing just fans right through your spot. Look, and I don't know what you thought, but right here, dog, we gon' rep the squad. Got HU, I might fit it, then on my jersey, you gon' know where I'm